Look, if you can't control yourself, and if you can't control your mind, and if you can't control your emotions, somebody else will. Somebody else will have a lot of fun with that. They'll have a lot of fun with your human mechanism. If you can't control yourself, if you can't control your life, somebody else will. And that's what we see manifesting nowadays, is people losing total control of themselves. I mean, like they even had a little bit before. But the truth is that most of you have been living life with training wheels on, especially if you're living in America. You know, you've had your government handouts, you've had your, assistance programs, you've had, all these types of crutches for you to lean on. You've had your school counselor, you've had your, insurance appointed, counselor, your therapist, and everyone is relying on someone else to tell them how to control their mechanism. But, you can learn some tips, you can learn some strategies, but at the end of the day, that's your job. And that's what you're supposed to be in control of. So if you can't control yourself, that's why we see the situations that we're seeing right now. It's very easy to control people who aren't in control of themselves. They'll jump at anything. People right now are depressed. They're lost. They are blaming others for their situation because they never took advantage of using their mind control, their willpower, and their discipline. Now they want somebody to come help them. Hey, it's your fault. You never taught me this. Hey, mommy, you never showed me how to be a good person. Hey, dad, you didn't teach me how to be a man. And where it is, nice to have those things, to have some guidance, to have a mentor, to have parental figures. Once you become an adult, nobody cares anymore. Nobody gives a fuck. It's like, if you didn't get that, you better ask somebody. You better learn. You better learn how to live, because this shit doesn't come with an instruction manual, and anybody can have some children. Anyone can have some kids. So that doesn't mean that those people that birthed you have the ability to raise you the way you need to be raised. They can't give you something they don't got. And if you're missing something in your diet, if you're missing some nutrients, you need to go find them. You need to find them yourself. You need to create them. You need to cultivate them. You can't sit around complaining about, hey, this person never showed me, and my mom wasn't a good mom. She didn't teach me how to cook, so now I don't know how to cook. Well, there's YouTube, there's cookbooks. You gotta figure this shit out on your own, people. That's called self-sufficiency. I've always been a rugged individualist. I like to rely on myself because I can trust myself. I learned to trust myself. I learned to learn myself. I know what makes me tick. I know what my weaknesses are, so now I can defend them. I know what my strengths are, so now I can amplify them. But if you don't know who the fuck you are and you blaming someone else for your situation, well then, homie, take a look around at your sea. That's why the fuck that's happening. And if you think that's an organic movement, it's only organic in so much as, you do have actual people who are getting caught up into this whole movement, but it wasn't created by them. They were just the perfect candidate for the job, so to speak. When you're all fucked up in the game, you don't have shit going for you. Hey, you want to come join our cause and voice your frustrations? You want to tear shit down? Hell yeah, I've been sitting around on quarantine for a few months. I would love to tear some shit up because I'm fucking mad as hell. I'm frustrated and I don't even know what to fucking do. Self-responsibility is a motherfucker. And taking full responsibility regardless if you were dealt a bad hand. And we all get dealt a bad hand here or there, and some way worse than others. But what you gonna do? You gonna sit around and complain about it? Or you're gonna say, okay, well, next hand, the next deck, I'm gonna play a little smarter. And that's what it is right now, man. I see people falling apart. They blame everyone else for everything else that's going on in their life. No self-responsibility. No realization that you have complete control to change your situation. And just like it took you a long time to get into a place where you're like, what the fuck is going on? It's gonna take you a long time to get to that place where you're like, ah, peace. Just know that, man. That, you know, if you're going through hell, you need to keep going. But Rome wasn't built in a day, and you don't fix yourself in a day. It has to become a lifestyle. That consciousness, that discipline, that unwillingness to be shaken by the news around you. That's a daily thing, man. You don't work out, you don't go to the gym on a Friday and you're just buff. You understand? You're gonna do that shit every motherfucking day. You need to eat right. You need to hit the gym. You need to do your calisthenics. You want to have, you know, a perfect physique, then that's what it is. You want to have a perfect life, a perfect mind, a perfect self, a perfect cell. You need to work on that shit every day. You can't just, you know, have a good meal today. Oh, I ate good. I kept down on my sugar. I ate high protein organics, a lot of leafy greens. And then the next day you're eating Burger King and you're talking about, man, that organic shit don't work. You know what I'm saying? I had a salad 2 months ago and I'm still sick. Fucking retards. Come on, man. Shit don't happen fucking one time. You know, things happen as a result of you know, things being done multiples of times, over and over again. You know, so like I said before, until you start stringing together days when you're your highest version, you're gonna be fucked up in the game. As long as you revert back to your lower self on a consistent basis, you're gonna make minimal progress. And you're gonna feel like you're fucking up, because you are. And you might even make some excuses and say, hey, well, this is my path. You know, everyone's on their own path, and everyone has their own timetable. Yeah. But what are you slowing up the show for, man? If you know you can pull your shit together quicker, you're just gonna suffer for that much longer. You're gonna make those excuses for that much longer. Oh, I'll fix myself tomorrow. I'll fix myself later. There's no fucking time, people. Look around, man. Humanity is eroding. Cities are on fire. You need to fix your motherfucking mindset. You need to control your emotions. You need to control your minds. You need to control your life. And you're the only one that can do it. Nobody's coming to save you. You hear that? That's the horsepower on the Porsche. You think I got a Porsche by being a fuckboy? You think I got a Porsche by complaining? You think I got a Porsche by blaming my mom? You think I'm living how I'm living because I was complaining, because I made excuses? Or do you think I finally got sick of my own bullshit and all the stories I had made for why I hadn't become a famous rapper, and why I didn't have thousands and millions of dollars, and why the system was fucked up, and, you know, why everyone was a trust fund baby, and I didn't grow up like that, so, you know, I didn't have any opportunity. You know, once I killed that bum ass motherfucker, once I choked him out and just watched that last fucking gasp of air come out of his lungs and him submit and look peaceful, and I was reborn anew, stronger, without that dead weight on my shoulders, you know, it was a different day for me, man. Full responsibility. Yeah, I was my biggest enemy. Once I stopped doing that, man, it was a whole new day and era, and a whole new person was born. And, you know, there's results from that. You know, I'm fit, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise. But you gotta make the right choices, man. Anyone can have that, you know, but you gotta do the work. And you gotta start somewhere, so you might as well start today. So why don't you click off of this video and go do something that you know is going to affect you positively in the future. Why don't you go do some push-ups? Why don't you go write a blog post? You know what I mean? Why don't you go help an old lady across the street? Why don't you stop, you know, somebody from wilding out? Why don't you stop a fight? You know what I mean? Instead of contributing to all the negativity of the world, why don't you be just a small counterbalance? Because that's all I am. You know, I got a few people listening to me. I'm not some, you know, big YouTuber or aficionado or, you know, famous person. You know what I mean? But I know that there might be a couple people that hear these words and it makes a real difference in their life. So you're welcome. Un dia. I'm out. One love.